What is Counter-Strike 2's next big update? Let's go over that, but it has been confirmed by the creator of the Op Chrome Cannon that they updated this skin and are now just waiting on Valve to hopefully push it live. So we could potentially see these changes in a future update that includes a scope redesign and other general fixes. Now, recently there has been a lot of SteamDB app change lists which are related to CS2, but it came with no real update that followed with it. So Valve must be cooking something behind the scenes. You may also have heard about Deadlock, Valve's next game, that is expected to see an official reveal very soon. And while many players are not a fan of it at the moment, I've seen a lot of complaints all essentially saying the same thing, that they're not interested in a new hero shooter. Now, the creator of Gmod, Gary Newman, has said he's enjoying watching everyone hating on 4 badly compressed screenshots of a closed alpha game, while 100% certain that they'll be stepping on each other's throats to play it. Hopefully Valve has something cool planned for the reveal for Deadlock, but what's next for CS2? Before we continue, ClassGG has a summer event live right now where you can collect oysters and win skins as they're giving out 500,000 gems. You can get oysters by playing your favorite game modes, but it won't last forever, so deposit with code WATERCS for a 5% bonus and then easily withdraw when you are done. Players are wondering what's the next big update for Counter-Strike because we are just flying right through the Valve cycle, which is an ongoing trend for a lot of Valve games. It should be no surprise that we are at this stage for the past few months. Players have been complaining about the cheating problem, hoping that Valve would fix it. We did receive an update to VAC at the end of April, which moved us to the next stage. Many started sucking up to Valve, acting like the changes were very effective, when in reality most cheaters would just be back in 24 hours, but of course most people won't mention that. There's still many NPCs who are dick riding Valve, but it should be clear that we are speed running the Valve update cycle simply because of this. You can tell because Valve has still remained completely quiet, them not saying anything moves us forward as well, because now players are fed up at not only the cheating problem just continuing even after the update that was expected to solve it, but also now with the news of Deadlock, saying that Valve should have just kept their focus on existing games. Now you may say, wait, didn't we just get a big content update a few weeks ago? But you can argue that that wasn't a huge content update as it just included things that were already in the game from CSGO. So for many players, we are right back here in the Valve cycle. A good way for us to move forward that would excite a lot of players would be pushing Overwatch live for the public, as at the moment it's not publicly available for almost a month at this point, so it's assumed that it's just being used for third-party contractors. But if they open it up to more players, that would definitely improve the morale. Of course, there would still be the struggle of making sure that it doesn't get abused. When Valve said they were focusing on the anti-cheat during Copenhagen, they also mentioned working on a map with a train. We're still waiting for the new remade version of the map for CS2, and seeing as we got Dust 2 in the map pool instead, that might just be a sign that it might not be coming anytime soon. Maybe after Shanghai is done, when we see the next map pool change that includes the overhaul version of Train, maybe also Cobblestone, and depending on how late that is in 2025, we could also see Cache there too. But we're also missing a bunch of Wingman maps and Arms Race maps like Lake, St. Mark, and many others. Talking about the Shanghai Major, that is one of the next confirmed events for Counter-Strike, which will be in around 6 months early December. Now, will we get no updates until the Shanghai Major, or does Valve has something planned for us? Of course, we will probably see some updates that just come with small changes and bug fixes, but between now and then, the next premiere season is expected to start. It was already expected to happen as Season 1 was labeled as Season Fall, and Season 2 was Season Spring, which in 1 month it will be summer, so they are a bit late on that one. This was common even back in the day for their Dota seasons, they usually would be late, so I'm sure it's similar for a Counter-Strike where there's no exact dates and it will just be whenever they feel like it. And we honestly don't really know, maybe Valve changed the system from seasons being based on fall and spring to just making them a yearly change. Valve hasn't given us any official blog posts, breakdowns, etc. on how they plan to run each premiere season, and the only information we have is from game files from back when it was just starting. So what Valve has officially planned for Season 2 is unknown, but even if seasons now change yearly, Season 2 would still line up to release before Shanghai, as Season 1 started right at the end of September. As well, there's still a lot of talks for the first CS2 operation, as it has literally been leaked since the start of the CS2 beta, and this would just be a great way for Valve to just add in a bunch of content at once. Stuff maybe like Danger Zone, which has also been heavily leaked, maybe other game modes like retakes, which are still missing from CS2. We could also see some brand new maps which are in the workshop. Valve could add in more CS2 skins, fresh missions for players to enjoy, and just other new content for CS2. Between now and Shanghai does give a lot of time for a potential operation to drop, which we are currently in the longest gap ever in Counter-Strike history without an operation, as we are close to 1,000 days since Riptide started. As well, the last 3 operations started within the final months of the year, September, December, and November, which doesn't mean Valve still has to follow this now, but hopefully we see the next operation maybe with similar timing in the coming months. As for the next few months, we are going to be in a little bit of a gap, and it will be a great time for Valve to really pop out with new content for CS2 as we start to go ahead and reach a down period until Shanghai. As players were not impressed with Deadlock or the VAC update, hopefully Valve has something up their sleeve soon. What do you think the next big CS2 update is? Or will it just be silent and a ghost town until the Shanghai Major? The first year of CS2 was Valve making sure the game was playable and in a good state for the Copenhagen Major. That happened, and then Valve said their focus was on VAC. Although we may not like the result, that happened, so now what is next? Well, you're just gonna need to subscribe to find out.